Hi everyone, my name is Titiana Bontempo. I'm a part of the Department of Psychology at Concordia University, and today I will be discussing the psychological biases and social influences found in conspiracy theory. To give a brief overview of today's presentation, I will touch upon the concepts such as confirmation bias and jump to conclusion bias, in-group versus out-group bias, authority bias, and belief formation, namely their implications in the formation and maintenance of conspiracy belief. Starting off with confirmation bias. This refers to the tendency to seek information that aligns with pre-existing beliefs. This means that individuals are more inclined to process information that confirms what they already believe to be true. So how does confirmation bias play into the formation of conspiracy beliefs? According to a study by Hornsey et al., individuals who have pre-existing beliefs are predisposed to believing in conspiracy theories. This bias leads them to selectively process information that supports their existing beliefs, creating what they like to call a belief bubble. However, confirmation bias can actually be quite adaptive in nature. A study by Peters suggests that confirmation bias helps these individuals with common beliefs form communities. By surrounding themselves with like-minded individuals, they reinforce their beliefs, foster trust, and build a sense of belongings that they previously did not have. Now focusing on jump to conclusion bias. This involves making quick decisions based on trivial information. A study by Pitlick et al. Found an interesting association between jump to conclusion bias and intuitive thinking styles in the context of conspiracy belief. Their study revealed that individuals who were prone to jump to conclusion biases also engaged in more intuitive thinking styles. Interestingly enough, no association was found between analytical thinking styles and belief in conspiracy theories. This suggests that those who think more analytically may be less susceptible to such biases and therefore less susceptible to belief in conspiracies. The interplay between confirmation bias, jump to conclusion bias, and thinking styles significantly influences the formation and maintenance of conspiracy beliefs. Moving on to in-group versus out-group biases. In-group bias refers to the preference for one's own group over others, while out-group bias expresses the dislike of group members that individuals cannot identify with. A study by Prugin et al. Examined differences in intergroup conspiracy belief between China and the United States. Contrasting these two groups provided valuable insights into how cultural values influence susceptibility to believing in conspiracy theories about outgroups. They found that Chinese participants exhibited stronger intergroup conspiracy beliefs towards their outgroup compared to the US participants. This suggests that cultural factors play a significant role in shaping conspiracy beliefs. The study observed that power distance values and vertical collectivism were more common within Chinese cultures. Now, these factors specifically suggest a greater acceptance of hierarchical structures and obedience within in-groups, leading to a strong belief in their own in-group and perception of the out-group as a threat due to lack of commonalities. While cultural factors increase susceptibility to intergroup conspiracy beliefs, cognitive biases such as in-group versus out-group bias is what actually maintains such conspiracies. Once these beliefs are formed, they create a profound boundary between in-groups and out-groups, reinforcing these initial beliefs. Moving on to authority bias. This refers to the tendency to attribute greater credibility to authority figures simply because they hold positions of power. A study by Castaño examined the connection between authority bias and cult recruitment in Spain and the United States. They described individuals targeted by cults as feeling lost and misunderstood by society, making them vulnerable to manipulation by cult leaders who prey on this exact vulnerability. Cult leaders appoint themselves as the authority figures to establish trust and connection with their followers. They then exploit the lack of accessible support resources, particularly in Spain, to manipulate individuals that are seeking guidance. Once these individuals have joined a cult, the authority figure manipulates and brainwashes them by discounting their relationship to family members, leading to blind loyalty to both the authority and the cult. Authority bias leads individuals to become completely consumed by cult directives, resulting in distancing between family members, familial distress, and sometimes even engaging in dangerous behaviors. Now we can see how authority bias plays a pivotal role in individuals falling into these traps of cult recruitment. This leads to severe consequences not only for themselves, but also for their families. Recognizing the influence of authority bias is essential for safeguarding these vulnerable individuals in society. Lastly, belief formation is the process by which individuals develop beliefs about themselves and the world, influencing how they perceive and accept situations as being true. A study by Forberg discusses how QAnon sets a general tone of good versus evil, allowing members of this exact community to input their own beliefs as defenders of society. This emotional narrative leads to more emotion-based responses, which makes individuals more likely to believe in conspiracies rather than relying on their own rational judgments. One key aspect of the QAnon community is the belief that their viewpoint is never wrong, as their information is constantly adjusted to fit their narrative, even when faced with contradictory evidence. This constant evolution of information reinforces the belief system within the community. Social influences and any other additional information allows these individuals within the QAnon community to reform their opinions and mindsets, creating clear boundaries between the good and evil in society. This further reinforces group cohesion and strengthens their belief systems. Now, when individuals are unable to align their actions with their belief, cognitive dissonance arises. The followers of the QAnon group will oftentimes resolve this dissonance by blaming negative outcomes on perceived enemies, such as political figures, rather than critically analyzing all possible options. The followers of this group perceive themselves as moral individuals. Therefore, they tend to only trust themselves and those with common belief systems, which creates a self-reinforcing community and uses social validation to strengthen their beliefs and reduce cognitive dissonance. Belief formation is a super complex process that's influenced by emotional narratives, social influences, and cognitive biases. Overall insights from this research have provided valuable information about the processes of cult recruitment and conspiracy belief, as well as helping us to understand the role of cognitive biases and social dynamics in conspiracy belief, which can then help us develop strategies to resist any manipulation in society. Thank you for listening.